Good day, everyone. Good day, sir. I am Rosel Sicolares from Bachelor of Science in Tourism Management Section 2A. So, for this video, I will be going to discuss and share to you the country Argentina. So, I choose this country because I want to explore, discover, and learn more about the beauty and wonders of this country. So, first, I will be going to discuss the history of the flag of Argentina. The flag of Argentina is a triband composed of three equally wide horizontal bands colored light blue and white. There are multiple interpretations on the reasons for those colors. The flag was created by Manuel Belgrano in line with the creation of Cockade of Argentina and was first raised at the city of Rosario on February 27, 1812, during the Argentine War of Independence. The National Flag Memorial was later built on the site. The first triumvirate did not approve the use of the flag, but the Asamblea del Año XIII allowed the use of the flag as a war flag. It was the Congress of Tucumán which finally designated it as the national flag in 1816. A yellow sun of May was added to the center in year 1818. So as you can see, no, makita ninyo sa political world map or any of the sources, especially the almanac, makita ninyo ang forms sa flag sa Argentina, which is na sky blue sa up and down, and the center is the color white and the sun in the center. The full flag featuring the sun is called the official ceremonial flag in the Spanish, which is the Bandera Oficial de Ceremonia. The flag without the sun is considered the ornamental flag or the Bandera de Ornato. While both versions are equally considered the national flag, the ornamental version must always be hoisted below the official ceremony flag. In vexillological terms, the official ceremonial flag is the civil, state, and war flag and ensign, while the ornamental flag is alternative civil flag and ensign. There is controversy of the true color of the first flag between historians and the descendants of Manuel Belgrano between the blue and the pale blue. It is the one of five flags that use the ratio 5:8, the others being Guatemala, Palau, Poland, and Sweden. So let us proceed now the continuation of the history of the flag of Argentina. The flag of Argentina was created by Manuel Belgrano during the Argentine War of Independence. While in Rosario, he noticed that both of the royalist and patriotic forces were using the same colors, which is the Spain's yellow and red. After realizing this, Belgrano created the Cockade of Argentina, which was approved by the first triumvirate on February 18, 1812. Encouraged by this success, he created a flag of the same colors 9 days later. It used the colors that were used by the Criollos during the May Revolution in 1810. However, recent research and studies would indicate that the colors were chosen from the Spanish order of Charles III, symbolizing the allegiance to the rightful and then captive King Ferdinand VII of Spain. Most portraits about the creation of first uses of the flag show the modern design of it. But the flag of Macha, a very early design kept at the House of Freedom in Sucre, Bolivia, was instead of vertical triband with two white bands and and a light blue and a light blue one in the middle. The flag was first flown for soldiers to swear allegiance to it on 27 of February in 1812 by personnel of the Bateria Libertad or the Liberty Battery by the Paraña River. The first triumvirate was later replaced by the second triumvirate with a more liberal ideology. ideology, who called the Asamblea del Año the 13. Despite being one of its original goals, it did not declare independence, and so did not approve the use of national flag either. Nevertheless, the flag made by Belgrano was authorized to be used as a war flag. The first oath to the newly approved flag was on February 13, 1813, next to the Salado River, which became known as the Rio Juramento or the Oath River. The first battle fought with the approved flag was the Battle of Salta, a decisive patriotic victory that achieved the complete defeat of royalist Pio Tristan. The flag would be finally declared the national flag by the Congress of Tucuman on July 20, 1816, shortly after the Declaration of Independence. The proposal was made by the Deputy Juan Jose Paso and the text written by the Deputy of Caracas, Jose Serrano. On February 25, 1818, the Congress, now working at Buenos Aires, included the Son of May in the war flag. After the proposal of Deputy Coroquaran, Coroquaren, the sun was copied after the one that the first Argentine coin featured in 1813. It was subsequently decided to keep it as part of the regular flag afterwards, and thus the sun no longer represents the war. So makita ninyo no ang history sa flag sa Argentina from the year 1812 up to present. So it's very interesting for me because there are a lot of changes in each year of the flag. So let's explore more about the Argentina. So for now, I will be going to discuss the history of the country of Argentina. Mm, the history of Argentina can be divided into four main parts: the pre-Columbian time, or early history, or up to the 16th century; the colonial period, or the 1530 to 1810; and the period of nation building, which is the 1810 to 1880; and the history of modern Argentina from around year 1880. Prehistory in the present territory of Argentina began with the first human settlements on the southern tip of Patagonia around 13,000 years ago. Written history began with the arrival of Spanish chroniclers in the expedition of Juan Diaz de Solis in 1516 to the Rio de la Plata, which marks the beginning of Spanish occupation of this region. In 1776, the Spanish crown established the Viceroyalty of the Rio de la Plata, an umbrella of territories from which, with the Revolution of May 1810, began a process of gradual, inf- gradual formation of several independent states, including one called the United Provinces of Rio de la Plata. With the Declaration of Independence on July 19, 1816, and the military defeat of the Spanish Empire in 1824, a federal state was formed in 1853 to 1861, which is known as which is known today as the Argentine Republic. Argentina was originally settled by many tribes of people. The first major empire arrived when Inca Empire invaded in 1480. Some of present-day Argentina became part of the Incan Empire and some resisted. In 1516, the Spanish arrived in a person of explorer and navigator Juan Diaz de Solis. Spain would later establish the first colony in Buenos Aires. As Buenos Aires grew in different or importance as a port city, the Spanish continued to integrate it into their empire. In 1776, they formed the Realty of Rio de la Plata. It wasn't long, though, before Argentina wanted its independence. Led by de San Martin, they declared their independence on July 9, 1816. Although they defeated the Spanish or the Spain, There was still civil war in Argentina for many years. They finally established a constitution in 1853 and a formal national government in 1861. In the early 90s, Argentina flourished, becoming one of the world's wealthiest nations. Later, however, there would be unrest as the lower class workers felt they were being unfairly treated and did not have a say in the government. Juan Domingo Perón came into power creating a populist movement called Peronism. In 1946, Perón was elected president. His famous wife Eva Perón was very involved in his rise to power and also helped women to get the right to vote in the country. So this is it. We are now in the basic facts and figures of Argentina. So, here are some interesting Argentina facts which were chosen and researched. For their population is about 46 million people live in Argentina for the year 2021. For their capital is Buenos Aires has a population of about 15 million people. Their name, Republica Argentina or Argentine Republic, which is Argentina means land of silver. Their government are democracy and republic, and their languages are Spanish, Italian, English, German, French, and indigenous languages. For, li- for literacy is 98% can read and write, and the next is the religion, which is mainly Christians, and 92% are Roman Catholics. And the last one is the currency, which is 1 Argentine peso is equivalent to 100 centavos. So let me just share to you the short history of the Argentina. Spanish explorer Juan Diaz visits the area now called Argentina and claims it for the Spanish crown. In 1535, Buenos Aires is founded by Pedro de Mendoza. Only in 1816, Argentina gained independence from Spain. In 1880, Buenos Aires became capital of Argentina. In the next 50 years from 1880 onwards, Argentina was one of the richest nations. In 1982, Argentina went to war with Britain to try to get the Falkland Islands, but this was unsuccessful for the Argentines. And for the national flag, blue and white with a yellow sun and a white band. And for their national symbols, sun of May is the sun with face symbol. So another basic facts and figures of Argentina is their identity. Argentina has many peculiarities that have traveled the world by word of mouth with the people who have visited the country. The outgoing personality of its people who are friendly, fun, and effusive, the typical cuisine which includes asado, meat, regional dishes, and dulce de leche treats. The traditional dances like tango, a couple dance with a 2 of 4 rhythm, which was born in Buenos Aires during the 19th century and today has reached an international level, or folklore with different choreographic forms according to each area. The passion for football and the fanatism for the major players and clubs, Boca Juniors and River Plate being the most popular ones, and the ones that fill their stadiums and cause profil- proliferating displays of excitement every time they play. Typical games like Troco, a card game which lack an ability to trick or deceive the opponent are the most important things. Or horse riding games in the outskirts of the city, which reveal the powerful Spanish influence and the persistence of old tradition. And of course, the personality that each special regions knows how to maintain and strengthen as time goes by. By the way, where is Argentina? Argentina is located on the South American continent and borders Bolivia, Brazil, Chile, Paraguay, and Uruguay. The longest border is shared between Argentina and Chile. This is the world's eighth largest country and second largest country in South America after Brazil. A flight to Buenos Aires from London takes about 14 hours and takes about 11 hours from New York. Argentina covers about one third as much land area compared with the size of the USA. And the fifth part of my report is the flagship carrier of Argentina, which is called Aerolíneas Argentinas. It is Argentina's largest airline and the country's flag carrier. The airline was created in 1949 from the merger of four companies and started operations in December 1950. A consortium led by Iberia took control of the airline in 1990, and Grupo Marsans acquired the company and its subsidiaries in 2001. Following a period of severe financial difficulties that put the airline on the brink of closure, the company has been run by the Argentine government since late 2008, when the country regained control of the airline after it was taken over from the Spanish owners. As of December 2014, Aerolíneas Argentinas was state-owned. It has its headquarters in Buenos Aires. SkyTeam membership was achieved in late August 2012. The airline's cargo division became a member of SkyTeam Cargo in November 2013. Aerolíneas Argentinas and its former sister company, Australineas Aéreas, operates from two hubs, both located in Buenos Aires, which are the Aeroparque George Newbery and Ministro Pistarini, and regional routes consist of Boeing 737-700, 737-800, and 737 MAX-8, whereas intercontinental and transoceanic services are flown on the wide-body Airbus 8330-200. The history of the airline began in 1929, when Compagnie Generali Aeropostale, or the Aeropostale, started airmail operations between Buenos Aires and Asunción using late 25 equipment, later expanding its network to cities located in the Patagonia. Many French pilots, including aviator and author Antoine de Saint-Exupéry, flew for the company in its beginnings. Argentine personnel replaced the Frenchmen as they gradually withdrew the airline, and shortly after, Aeropostale's Argentine subsidiary, Aeroposta Argentina, was formed. In 1947, this airline became a mixed stock company in which the government had a 20% stake and private investors held the balance. As Aeroposta expanded its network southwards and incorporated the Douglas DC-3 into its fleet, another three mixed stock companies were in operation at the time. Aviación del Litoral Fluvial Argentino, or the ALFA, mainly operated flying boats northwards to the Mesopotamia. Flota Aérea Mercante Argentina, or the FAMA, operated overseas services with DC-4S as its mainstay equipment. And Jonas Oeste y Norte de Aerolíneas Argentinas, or the Zonda, was mainly concerned with operations in the northwest region. These carriers became unprofitable, and President Juan Perón had them amalgamated into a single state-owned company on 14 May 1949. The state holding was officially rebranded as Aerolíneas Argentinas Empresa del Estado. The four companies comprising the state holding ceased independent operations on 31 of December in year 1949. So in this part, I will be sharing to you the top tourist attractions or the top tourist destinations which you can visit, explore, and enjoy in the Argentina. So first, Argentina's diverse geography encompasses everything from harsh deserts to humid jungles, and long ocean beaches to the soaring Andes. Stretching from the subtropical north to the subantarctic regions of beautiful Patagonia in the south, Argentina's cultural, artistic, and architectural heritage is just a diverse, drawing upon influences from around the world. With its wonderful barrios, including colorful arts, neighborhoods such as La Boca, Old World Recoleta, and trendy districts like Palermo, Buenos Aires, sometimes feels more like Europe than Latin America. This lively capital city is the best place to begin exploring, or it's also the best place to learn to tango, that most iconic of Argentinian dances. In addition to its many cultural attractions, the other big draws, and for some tourists its greatest appeal, are the country's natural wonders, including the breathtaking Iguazu Falls is the world's largest group of waterfalls. How interesting is Argentina, you know? The first tourist destinations that I can discuss to you is the Iguazu Falls. The stunning Iguazu Falls lie along Argentina's border with Brazil, with Iguazu National Park on the Argentinian side and Iguaco National Park on the Brazilian side. Protected as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, these huge waterfalls are undoubtedly one of the most spectacular sights in South America. Visitors can get quite close to these thundering falls thanks to a network of easily accessible walkways and viewing platforms designed to provide the best possible views, including some at the bottom of the falls, an area known as the Devil's Throat. Iguazu is, in fact, made of between 150 to 300 individual falls along its nearly 3-kilometer edge, a number that changes depending on the season, varying in the height between 60 to 82 meters, and each as spectacular as the next. Served by an international airport in Argentina and one in neighboring Brazil, it's relatively easy to visit, particularly in flying from Buenos Aires. Second tourist destinations of Argentina is the Perito Moreno Glacier. The main hub for tourists visiting the UNESCO World Heritage Site of Patagonia's Los Glaciares National Park, the small town of Calafate offers plenty of accommodation, options, and other amenities for visitors. It's here that most visitors join excursions to see the park's popular glaciers, most notably the stunning Perito Moreno Glacier, a massive 30-kilometer long ice formation and the world's third largest freshwater reserve, just 78 kilometers from the town center. Named after a 19th century explorer, it's just a 2-hour trip from El Calafate to the glacier's large visitor center, and from here, just a short walk to the glacier. And for those wanting to climb the glacier, ice trekking tours are available that range from an hour's walk over the ice formation to longer 5-hour excursions. Another important feature of Glaciares National Park is the 3,359-meter tall Monte Fitzroy, a stunningly beautiful mountain straddling the border with Chile that is reputably harder to climb than Everest. Oh, how amazing and interesting this tourist destination. So, what are you waiting for? Just visit Argentina and find this destination. And the third one is the Parque Nacional Nahel Huapi. It is a vast park in the Bariloche area of Patagonia. The ideal place to explore remote wilderness beauty, it's filled with lakes and abundant wildlife as well as being home to a dormant volcano, Mount Tronador. A heaven for hikers and nature lovers. If you're looking for an overnight trek, there are several mountains, refuges, basic cabins that can be used along the way. And the fourth destination of Argentina is the Puerto Madryn and the Valdez Peninsula. The city of Puerto Madryn lies on the shores of Golfo Nuevo in one of the most sheltered places on the Patagonian coast. Founded by Welsh settlers in 1886, the city's deep water port and the abundant nature reserves make it one of the most popular cruise destinations in Argentina. Its rugged coastline attracts water sports enthusiasts, particularly windsurfers who enjoy defying the strong Patagonian winds, and nature lovers find plenty of things to do on the Valdez Peninsula, an important nature reserve listed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site for its diverse wildlife. And the fifth destination is the Ushuaia. At the southern end of Argentina, Patagonia is famous for its spectacular landscapes, a dramatic mix of Andes and long stretches of plains and plateaus. Most adventures here start in Ushuaia, the world's southernmost city. Established as a penal colony in the early 20th century and now a popular jumping off point for trips to Antarctica or around Cape Horn, this town on Beagle Channel is surrounded by a unique landscape of mountains, sea, glaciers, and woods on the edge of the Tierra del Fuego National Park with its spectacular scenery and diverse flora and fauna. Popular places to visit include the San Juan del Salvamento Lighthouse, also known as the End of the World Lighthouse, built in 1884 on the Isla de los Estados, and the End of the World Museum. So here you will find exhibits relating to the region's natural history, aboriginal, aboriginal life, and the early penal colonies. And the sixth destination of Argentina is the Bariloche and the Road of Seven Lakes. Usually simple, referred to as Bariloche, San Carlos de Bariloche is a lively city set in the midst of Nahuel Huapi National Park and Patagonia's the Northern Lake District. Skiers, especially those from the Northern Hemisphere seeking snow in the height of the northern summer, flock to Bariloche for nearby Cerro Cathedral, the tallest of its peaks, and a popular ski resort. One of the largest ski resorts in South America, Cerro Cathedral includes more than 100 kilometers of ski terrain and is particularly popular for its stunning view over the Nahel Huapi or Nahel Huapi in the middle of the national park. Bariloche is a center for active adventure and for exploring the park's mountain, lakes, waterfalls, forests, glaciers, and extinct volcanoes. Although the region is rich in opportunities for hiking, rafting, cycling, and climbing on a driving circuit known as the Route of the Seven Lakes, takes tourists to the alpine lakes of Nahuel Huapi, Espejo Escondido, Faulkner, Villareno, Correntoso, and Machunico. Undoubtedly, one of Argentina's most beautiful cities, filled with Art Deco architecture, Mendoza is a popular with outdoor enthusiasts in winter as it is in summer. When the snow flies, skiers from across South America experience some of the Andes' best ski slopes at the popular resorts of Las Liñas, renowned for its steep terrain, and Los Penitentes, just 25 kilometers from the border with Chile. In the summer, these same areas are popular among hikers and climbers, many aiming for the top of the 6,960-meter tall Aconcagua Mountain. Other outdoor activities include whitewater rafting and trail riding, with some riding stables offering overnight adventures with camping under the stars. Also famous for its olive oil production, Mendoza has many other attractions, which including a number of museums and annual festivals, as well as bustling central market or the Mercado Central, where locals buy produced meat and fish, and where visitors can find food stalls and restaurants. So we are now in the last part of my report, which is the famous foods of Argentina. First is the asado and parrillas, which is the traditional Argentinian barbecue. Asado isn't really the name of a particular dish, but it's mostly used to describe the traditional event of the Argentinian barbecue, largely common between families and friends in the weekends. It's also used to describe the method of grilling. Asado's meat parade consists of heaping platters with appetizers, chorizo, and morcilla. Argentinian sausages and meat galore placed on parrillas, or the Argentina word for a grill, and cook low and slow until they fall apart into delicious tenderness. And the second one is the empanadas, the fried of baked dough stuffed with meat. Jam packed with flavors, these stuffed dough packets are a must if you want to take a bite from Argentina's street food culture. The most common filling is, of course, minced or sliced by hand beef, seasoned with cumin and onion. Other varieties may some stuffed with chicken, sweet corn, cheese, and ham of veggies. This is definitely an Argentinian food you have to try. And the third one is the choripan or the chorizo sandwich. This is the Argentinian hot dog, named out of its ingredients, which are chorizo and pan or bread. Choripan is one more proud example of Argentina's street foods scene. Cheap and delicious regardless its simplicity, it's topped with fresh and spicy chimichurri. And the fourth one is the Milanesa or the Argentinian schnitzel, known to the rest of the world as escalope or schnitzel. Milanesa is another Argentinian dish with Italian influence, often served for lunch. Made from pounded beef or chicken, covered with breadcrumbs, you can try it fried or baked. The variety of toppings is what makes this dish special, ranging between fried eggs, cheese, cheese, ham, and tomato sauce served with rice and or salad. How delicious, you know? So what are you waiting for? Just taste the food in Argentina. Maybe soon or in God's hands. And the fifth is the provoleta, the grilled cheese. If you're a cheese lover, then you definitely have to try provoleta. It's simply a thick, round slice of provolone cheese put straight on the grill in a skillet until it turns into gooey goodness with with a slightly crisp and brown top on the outside. Drizzled with olive oil and sprinkled with oregano and red crushed pepper, is usually served as an appetizer to Argentinians asado. And the sixth famous foods is a humita en chala, a flavorsome corn snack. Similar to the Mexican tamales, humita is the ultimate celebration of corn. Made of creamed corn, onion, spices, and goat cheese wrapped in corn's husk or the chala, and then steamed or boiled. Humita serves both as a savory snack or a main dish. And the last famous food that I researched is the dulce de leche. Dulce de leche is nothing more than sweetened milk cooked in low heat until it's caramelized. For Argentinians, it is the go-to ingredient to top, fill or accompany almost any other kind of dessert. But with no arguments, the most popular use of this sweet and sticky confection is a South American version of the Italian gelato and the so-called dulce de leche helado. Creamy, smooth with rich caramel flavor and aroma, exactly what you need to wash down all the above finger-licking meat dishes. So, what are you waiting for? I encourage you everyone to taste the famous foods or the traditional foods of Argentina. No regrets and just enjoy. I'm sure you will be happy and amazed. And that will be all, and thank you for watching. God bless you all and keep safe always.